the only reason why Azure Drake might be more relevant is because you're getting your game plan. Because you're digging through your deck is obviously getting furthered, whereas if you play Path of Sky Golem, you're getting a free board.
Would you say you're digging through the deck with a deck that only draws out of Azure Drake?
Azure Drakes, yeah. You're getting those fireballs, you're getting those frostbolts, which might end the game faster than the minion that comes out of the golem might. And you know, it's a 4 health minion, one is on turn 5, one is on turn 6, and they both represent heavy threats for the opponent, regardless of which one comes down first.
Well, yeah, you're right with that. Interesting draws from both players.
Yeah.
Sjow has a really good hand, but on the other side of the game board...
On the other hand...
I just wanted to avoid using twice hand in one sentence.
Yeah.
Hellfire is presenting a very big threat to Sjow's board.
Can you imagine when Warlocks are going to be getting Demon Heart to play with? I mean, I can already see Warlocks are all going to be playing that Blood Mage downloads Demon Heart for 4 damage AoE, get a Pseudo Flame Strike, or Explosive Sheep Demon Heart for 5 damage AoE, get themselves a really crazy board wipe that doesn't damage their health.
So Thijs has an option to kill the Divine Shield with the Mortal Coil and then play Hellfire next turn.
Yeah, there's a thing to say with this Hellfire is that it gives him good value, and he could have played for value and waited one more turn, right? But then his health pool would have been at about 14 at this point.
Yeah, that's not good. When you don't have Molten Giants in your hand, you can't really play that. And one thing that is really bad for Thijs with that Hellfire is basically he's saying, I don't have Molten Giants in my hand.
Yeah. You're incentivizing the opponent to just push as much as he wants, and that's a bit of a sticky spot. I guess you have to try to Dark Bomb.
Yeah, Dark Bomb, and maybe get a One-Eye Cheat, and then Mortal Coil.
That would be the best. I mean, you could get Captain's Parrot, Novice Engineer, One-Eye Cheat, Loot Hoarder. There are a lot of 2-drops that have 1 health. So you could try that, or alternatively, you play Hellfire to deny the Goblin Blast Mage, but if he replenishes, then you've got no more AoE. I don't like that very much.
What about... Oh, he goes for the Hellfire. Okay.
Well, let's see what comes out. It's a Shadow Boxer, another mech, so...
That's very unfortunate. He saw 2 Hellfires, so now he will drop the Cogmaster and Yeti?
Yeah, this is the point where you just flood the board. I mean, you've seen 2 Hellfires early in the game. You have to assume that guy's got no more AoEs. And before double corruption on 2 minions.
That's what I didn't like the second Hellfire. I would rather see the Dark Bomb, just to get, have the option of clearing the board again, because you don't have a Shadow Flame in your hand.
I agree with you. I would tend to say that that's probably the more long-term, game plan. He's got a good anti-heal bot, but he's going to be taking a lot of damage from what's on the board.
What about Dark Bomb being the Shadow Boxer, and then using... Well, first, you use both Mortal Coils on the...
Cogmaster.
On the Cogmaster, you draw one card, and then you play the Dark Bomb.
Yeah, you're hoping for Siphon Soul, because your following turn is going to be an anti-heal bot.
No one's playing Siphon Soul nowadays.
I know, but you've got to be hoping that you're going to find something that's a removal follow-up, because this is not sufficient. Maybe Ancient Watcher with Defender would have been nice.
I think...
Wow. There you go. Goblin Blast Mage, he's got his work cut out for him. Yeah, he knows what he's got to do. Just ping that heal bot twice and go full face. Oh man, look at the amount of damage Show's going to be packing here.
Thijs has to draw into Molten Giants, and that's not even helping him a lot.
So Show's thinking, what happens if I attack face? The Molten Giant lineups. If I attack face, he can play Molten and Sun Fury, but I think Thijs' lines of play haven't demonstrated that he's got those cards.
I just wanted to say that Thijs is playing like he's telegraphing, I have no Molten Giants.
Yeah, that's what I feel like he's saying.
I have no more AoEs, I have no more Molten Giants. And he would need both Molten Giant and Shadow Flame to do something in this game.
Subliminal message, Show you can go face. Show you can go face. Nope. You know what I want to see one day in a tournament setting? Somebody drops a Magma Rager on turn 7 with Shadow Flame. One day, it will happen. You know what? This will be... Oh, Mountain Giants. This is a typical hand lock.
You got 9, 12, 14, 16 damage on board.
Yeah, you've got to be fishing for that
So what do you
double
got,
coil and hope for the best, I guess.
and what do you want to draw with that?
Nothing.
There's nothing.
I see nothing. Dark Bomb will coil to reduce the damage from the Blast Mage, but still, get another Dark Bomb. Watcher's a bit too late.
No, that's not enough. There's still 2, 6, 7, 11,
Close to
12
lethal,
points of
3 off
damage.
lethal. 12, yeah, 1 off.
Oh,
Oh, well,
never
that's a
mind.
good game. Never mind that. Wow, I'm surprised that wasn't mid-range Warlock. It was a Handlock, and Handlock's biggest weakness, obviously, is if they don't find the taunts early on. You know, Sludge Belcher would have been great here during this game, getting himself a better Hellfire. I feel like those were used very liberally from Thijs. Very, very liberally.
Well, I didn't
First one I
really like
liked.
the second Hellfire.
Yeah, first one
That's-
seemed like it was perfect, but the second one felt a
Yeah.
little too quick on the trigger.
He had the bomb. I would really like him to use the bomb, and then afterwards, using the Hellfire would be more beneficial because he still had 2 Mortal Coils in his hand. So next turn, even if there would be a Goblin Blast Mage, a Tinker Tower Technician, whatever, you Hellfire and you finish them off with the Mortal Coils.
The Mortal Coils, yeah. You try to weaken them, and then you get a better way to clear the board. I mean, he had to use Coin for the first one, and then the second one was effectively full mana saturation. So that put him a little... It's really hard to weave in those coils when you don't have the Coin anymore. Well, Show's going to be playing a Shaman next. He's brought Druid, Mage, and Shaman. The Mage is now 1 win up, so it won't be reused by Sjow, but Shaman is going to be facing one of the 3 decks from Thijs' lineup, Hunter, Warlock, Warrior. And I feel like it's fine against Lock, it's fine against Warrior, but against Hunter it might have a little bit of a problem.
That's true. Well, Warlock is interesting.
Thijs is
was
going
a-
for his Warlock, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, why would he pick again the Warlock when there's a Druid and a Shaman left? Maybe he's thinking at
He's going to start
Shaman?
with Druid. Maybe he's just trying to mind read and figures his opponent's going to be playing Druid. But at the same time, I mean, Shaman with the Earth Shocks against the Drakes, that's a typically good matchup. You've got Hexes for the Giants. So typically this is not an amazing matchup, but I think Warlock has a better matchup here than maybe against the Fast Druid. But I think Hunter might have been just the best one, depending on what it is. I mean, his Hunter beats mid-range Druid, and it tends to beat Shaman, depending on whether or not it's an aggressive Hunter or not.
Well, you know, we'll have to see. We can start with the game as soon as possible and then see it ourselves. Like, I'm really interested in how will be the Shaman build. Will it be like a classic Shaman, maybe a Shaman with a little touch of mechs, or just be full mech Shaman, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if Mech Shaman comes in, generally speaking, when Hunters are pretty much all over the place, I see a lot of Mech Shaman because they can outrace them if Hunter doesn't start trading. So it does happen quite often, but typically you see more mid-range in tournaments than Mech. Mech was popular for a little while, but it didn't last very long, unfortunately.
That's true. That's also an interesting thing. Well, okay, let's jump into the game. There's an F-Shock. He kept the F-Shock. No, he didn't. Wait, what? I hate the spectator mode, you know, with all those bugs. I don't know what's happening in the mulligan phase.
Yeah, you don't
Did
know
he
if he
keep
mulliganed
it?
the Earth Shock and
Yeah.
got it back, or if he kept it. Well, this is probably a mid-range Shaman. I mean, you see Manatide, you see Dr. Boom, Fire Ellie. I mean, those are pretty big staples, but nothing here to indicate that this is a mech. Oh
Well,
man,
he will-
I love that Manatide here. Force the Dark Bomb, and there's none.
So you can't use Hellfire. That really sucks.
Yeah, no mana. And you wouldn't even like to use it here. It feels like trash. You've got 1 minion.
There's a Zombie Chow, so you can tap into Zombie Chow.
I think that's gonna have to be the play. Otherwise, you got nothing. You could keep the Chow if you want above the Drake, but you know there's Earth Shock, so the amount of health that the Tri Drake gets is irrelevant.
Well, you have to drop the Drake as soon as possible in this matchup. Because otherwise you would be saying, I won't drop it at any time of the game.
Yeah, the more he
deeper-
draws.
Yeah, exactly. The more he draws, the better the chances of drawing the F-Shock.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Sjow just play a boring totem or a creeper here. I almost feel like you could be very passive, but you have like you can afford to be passive. Sorry, in this position. Oh wow, and he finds the perfect totem. That defense is manatide perfectly against the current board, but unfortunately for him, there's a Dark Bomb. But look at that. Thijs is not happy. He's like, you know what? If that had been there last turn, I could play my Drake now, but now I've got to make the choice.
You have to use the Dark Bomb. You have to tap into Dark Bomb. I didn't see another choice. You can't allow Sjow to draw more than 2 cards from the totem. It's already really disastrous that he did draw 2. Oh wow! So he basically says, I don't care. You have to use 1 point of mana for the Earthshot now. Next turn, so you won't be able to drop a 4-drop, which is basically non-existent at this state of the game, because we don't have the new elemental from BRM yet. Out.
Yeah, the Fire Guard Walker. I actually next week, I think we're gonna be allowing those cards in the tournament, right?
Yeah, we will.
So that's gonna be a really cool thing. We're gonna be casting the Kinguin Pro League for the entire duration of the release of BRM. So new decks will crop up, hopefully, and that should spice up a little bit of the decks that you'll see.
Insane when it comes to value. when it comes to content. It's really insane. So many tournaments, and each Tuesday and Thursday we have Kinguin Pro League, and each week you will see new metagame, kinda.
Yeah.
Because we can predict how much the game will change after each wing, but still, I predict it will change a lot.
Well, the first wing is going to be at least interesting for Priest with Resurrect. The problem is, how impactful is it going to be?
First week is Resurrect? You sure of that?
I'm pretty sure they get that. Pretty sure first week is going to be you're right, Warlock and Hunter, I think, for the
I think Warrior and Hunter. So quick shot.
I thought it was Warlock. All right, so it's going to be quick shot and the
and the not interesting Warrior card.
Yeah, the not interesting Revenge. Poor Warriors, man. I pity you, Warriors. I'm sorry about that. If you like your Warrior class, I'm sorry about that Revenge. And somebody's gonna quote me on this and show me how wrong I am. 2 months down the line when it's everywhere and it's like the best Warrior card ever printed. But I don't see that. All right, so Thijs is trying to put off the offense from Sjow, which is gonna get good out of his Flame Tongue here.
He got double Hellfire, so that's good, and he has Dr. 7. Well, both players have Dr. 7.
Yep. I feel like Show's current position is pretty solid. Playing Fire Ellie is a bit awkward because you're trading, in effect, your entire board at this point.
Do you really
care? Do this?
I don't
No,
think so.
not really. Yeah. The alternative was to play Flame Tongue and Pilot Shredder, but you're playing into Hellfire quite substantially.
For Sjow, it's Dr. 7 next turn and Dr. Neptune turn 8.
Dr. Neptune, holy crap. Yeah. Well, that's a possible BGH play, if you'd rather. I don't mind BGH in this position. I know Giants are coming out just about every time, but...
Why not just Dr. Boom?
Counter Dr. Boom and go face?
Mm-hmm. You got so many cards, and there will be still Giants there. And Giant is more difficult to remove than Dr. Boom, I think.
Alright, so what do you do, I guess... What do you do about that? Dr. Boom, that you just ignore it?
You can... I would just say Dr. Boom and go face.
Okay, I guess you just Dr. 7. The answer to Dr. 7 is to play Dr. 7.
Did you see the infographic? Should I play Dr. Boom? It's like, do you have 7 points of mana?
Yes. Flowchart?
Yes, you should. The chart. If you have 7 points of mana, you play it. If you don't have Dr. Boom, if you don't have 7 points of mana, you don't play it. Do you have Dr. Boom in hand? You play it. And then you check the mana. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I blew it.
Yeah. No, it's always I get the idea, yeah. If you can play it, then you're good to go. If Dr. Boom goes green, you've got it forever.
Do you have Dr. Boom? And do you have the mana points for that?
Oh my god, that hit on the Fire Ellie. That's going to allow the second Boom Bot to trade into the Fire Elemental, and if it hits the Boom Bot, and then he can trade his 7/7 away, that's going to be a complete board denial.
Well,
oh man,
the odds of that happening were really low, so I thought that the Dr. Boom would be the best scenario here, and we both see that Sjow agreed with my train of thought.
Yeah, the odds of this backfiring the way it did were so slim. I don't even think you can afford playing around stuff like this. But when it does happen in a tournament setting, You've got to feel like the gods are against you. And honestly, if that Ragnaros kills Dr. Boom, this is going to be devastating.
Will it happen, though? That's
could.
Really risky. 50-50. No.
Well, I mean, you're still fine, right?
I like
you got a BGH here. You're good to go.
Yeah, but I didn't really like the Ragnaros, you know?
I think it's a way to compound your advantage, and if it does work, then you win the game right away, right? If it works, you win. Shaman can't handle this unless he double hexes, in which case you get the initiative on your giant. So I feel like the gamble at this point was worth it, just because of the potential upsides.
So how many points of damage can Sjow squeeze next turn? 6, 12? And if,
with Alec here, he can get a lot. Yeah, he can get 12 just off of that.
Yeah, and is it lethal? No, wait. Yeah,
no,
doesn't count. But still, Airshock. No, but you can't play the Rock Fighter then. Okay, never mind.
Okay, so
Hex. Oh no!
Hex top deck. That is a great card draw here for Sjow. He did get his Fire Elemental squeezed out with a Boombot, so that's going to be the revenge of the RNG.
I don't see a way out for Thijs here in this game. To be honest, I didn't see it. Your both Hellfire are basically dead.
Yeah, he had to, like, the fact that a Warlock mid-game, when the Shaman's drawn 3 cards off of Manatide and countered your Rag with a BGH, when you're at this point of the game and you're playing a Mountain Giant for 6 mana, you're playing into Hex and you know it, right? But that means you're desperate, generally speaking. That's what that indicates to me. Alright, keep the board clean to avoid any power overwhelming Shadow Flame shenanigans.
Desperate House Warlock.
Wow. Desperate House Lock?
Oh yeah, that's way better.
Yeah. The Desperate House Lock, new TV show airing on, what are we, March 3rd? 31st? I'm lost. What is time?
Oh, that's game, right?
I guess you play Sylvanas and Defender. I guess you could potentially... But no, you're dead because there's an Earth Shock in this case, but...
So 12, 16, 20 points of damage is lethal.
Yeah, with Earth Shock, it's definitely lethal. So... Show's going to be going for 2-0 over Thijs in this here, and in this game. In this here, ladies and gents, you heard it here first. In this here. So, Thijs, I mean, he's got access to his whole lineup. But I feel like maybe picking Hunter would have been overall marginally more consistent against Show's remaining lineup, because now Show's going to be moving on to its Druid.
To be honest, I didn't like either the kind of plays that Thijs did in the first game, and either the choice of the class in the second game.
Yeah, I think the second Hellfire in the first game was a bit weird. The class picking in the second game was a bit awkward. But ultimately, you know, he knows his decks better than we do. We don't know what's in his decks. We don't know how comfortable he is.
Obviously, we're the better players here. So
yeah, obviously. I mean, we're casting. We see both hands. We can, and even when we see the hands, we still don't see all the best plays. So, you know, that's the fun part about this. You know, you're casting. You're not playing the game. I'm just curious to see what he's going to pick here, because against Druid, I mean, he's got Warlock and Warrior. Warlock against fast Druid's not amazing, but it's got like a 40%. Warrior's got a pretty tough time of it, and Hunter, if it's mid-range, generally is okay. I'm really curious what Thijs is going to opt for.
I think you go first for the Hunter.
Try to get, at the very least, the maximum amount of possible tiebreakers.
I don't see how Thijs... Unless Thijs will get really lucky with the draws and Sjow will with his opening hands, I don't see Thijs winning this game.
Well, it's possible. I mean, we've seen all sorts of reverse sweeps in the event so far, so it's not impossible. It's just going to be a really uphill battle for him, and we're told by the admins that he's going to be going for his Warlock again.
You know what I'm doing, right? Every time we say that a player will lose, he wins, you know?
That's right. Oh, I see how it is. You're trying to jinx Sjow. Yeah. I see it. All right, I'm going to tell that complexity so they can reverse jinx you. They're going to do some voodoo stuff behind the scenes there. Yeah, so I'm really curious to see how this matchup is going to go. Generally speaking, Druid tends to have a bit of an edge since the double combo has been standardized, but a good start from a Warlock will take this game really convincingly very often. You know, no Keeper of the Grove on a Drake, and that's pretty much the end of your game as a Druid.
Well, you still can combo out of nowhere, so...
Right. You need to find out. I feel like a lot of those games come down to an Ancient of Lore top deck. I've seen so many Warlock versus Druid matches where it comes down to the Druid slamming stuff on the board for constant pressure, and then he gets an Ancient of Lore top deck, replenishes his hand, and gets the combo. In the first 4 draws following that. It tends to happen very, very frequently.
True. Okay, we'll be jumping into the game, and doesn't look bad for Thijs. There's a Mountain Giant. And a National Watcher, which is also not bad when you draw those activators. He got the coin though, so that's nothing you want to have as a Warlock, I think. You want to have the initiative.
Exactly. Well, it's not too bad. I mean, if you're getting yourself a Drake on turn 3...
Well, you will coin it out, right? Will you coin it out?
Maybe not, since you've got a Mountain Giant. You want to fill up that hand to get a mountain as fast as possible.
What you want to avoid is Druid having 6 points of mana when you drop the Twilight Drake.
Yeah, for the Keeper to Grow hero power trade.
Yeah. We'll see how Thijs does it. He's obviously the better player here.
Oh, Sjow finds a Shaded Axe.
That's important.
Quite, yeah. And the interesting part about Sjow's hand is that you see the Senjin Shieldmaster here. That's a card that's generally teched in to deal with the ubiquitous Piloted Shredder. 4/3 for 4 mana. Senjin is a 3/5 for 4, so it lives. It's kind of got that Blackwing Technician vibe to it. Starting BRM, you should be seeing a lot more of those, and Piloted Shredder might fall out of favor.
So he didn't opt for... sorry for interrupting you, but he didn't opt for the Twilight Drake on turn 3.
Yeah, you can't coin it out, because you want to play the Mountain. Right? You want to keep the coin buff of the Mountain.
Did you see that?
Yeah, playing around Hellfire.
Okay.
Whoa.
Thijs didn't use the...
That I didn't see coming. That Drake play instead of the Giant play, I did not see that coming in 1,000 years. I guess it's all about the Shadow Flame, forcing the opponent to overextend, trade the Senjin into the Drake, and then you get a good flame.
That's cool.
Well, that's some foresight here. Thijs is showing...
Will he do it, though?
I think so. He nodded his head. I think he's pretty confident that's the play.
Turn 6. What's turn 6 for Druid? Force of Nature phase.
Yeah, Force of Nature phase for value. Or you play Sylvanas, but there's no point. Shredders are possible. You get everything from Sludge Belchers to Druid of the Claw, but those aren't really a problem. First? Nah, you don't even tap. That way you can play Giant with coin, with Dark Bomb, and keep your coin available.
And now you have the option to drop the Belcher to challenge the Piloted Shredder, which is the best answer possible, I think.
He's got multiple lines of play.
Wow. Okay,
Giant Dark Bomb is not bad, but...
2 Giants, well, if he wants to play Giants, it's the same with Twilight Drake and F-Shock, right? But there's only one Beacon Hunter, so definitely you want to drop it as soon as possible.
Yeah, you've got a second one, and you've got a Rag on the back of this, so... Oh, wow, nice hit. Should have not ended the turn, maybe he would have coined out that coil.
Yeah, definitely, that was a mistake. I think so, well, maybe not, yeah.
Still, I mean, he did get a really good minion to come out of that. Pretty good pickup for Thijs here, but look at Sjow's hand. It's looking pretty powerful. He's got 2 swipes.
So do you play Ragnaros? Kill the 5/5, go for Ragnaros?
That's a 1/1 lead. Let's stay on the board. It's not that big of a deal. I feel like Coil Belcher or Coil Healbot are probably a bit more... or even just a second Giant, honestly. Like, it's... You kill that 5/5, you play the second Giant.
Yeah, that's the best. But then... double swipe? Nah, never mind.
Double swipe is fine, right? I mean, if Sjow finds Savage Roar, he might just go full face, depending on how he reads this.
Having double swipe in your hand kind of change your approach to the game. Because okay, I can finish you off with almost a double kill command.
Yeah, that's the point. A swipe is good for removal, but sometimes against stuff like, especially handlocks, I think, more so handlocks than any other matchup, you tend to use it either on Giants when you're desperate, or you get it for a kill at the very end of the game.
Oh, Hellfire.
Oh, that uncommon.
Hellfire, never mind. What about Hellfire into Ancient Healbot? Or Belcher? Nah, that doesn't make any sense. Well,
struggle is real.
You can Hellfire next turn. So
Son of Argus is a good play. If Black Knight's not in Show's lineup and you don't expect it to be,
he doesn't. He's not intimidated by the threat of Black Knight looming over the giant. Savage Roar.
Oh man, that swipe is going to be useless. I feel like you have to drop scenarios defensively here, as bad as it sounds.
What about Keeper to get one taunt out of the way?
No, you can't do that. You're about to die.
You're dead. Never mind.
This is a rest in pepperoni situation.
Yeah, this is DAD. Whoa.
Yeah, GG. Hellfire, I think, seals the game, doesn't it?
6, 15, 22, 24. No, wait. You lose 2 points of damage with killing the Defender of August, so you're not...
Oh, right. Never mind. Right. You're so short, though. All right, so that's not going to be game this turn, but it's going to be close enough. At least he can wipe the board fully, including the Shade.
You have to use one Hellfire.
Yeah, I think that's not really...
Hellfire into anti-kill bot.
Very safe play. Very safe play. I like the Belcher a bit more most of the time. You've seen one swipe, so you're not going to get punched in the face from back lines.
Okay, and you should kill the Scenarios, right?
Does it really change anything if
you got 6 points of damage in your hand. Yeah. So most likely...
Yeah, just go face and you play Healbot or Belcher, pick your poison. The Druid's gonna be dying to Hellfire Dark Bomb next turn pretty much systematically.
Yeah, I just want to count the damage that he will have next turn. No,
with the slime, it's actually lethal with Hellfire Dark Bomb, funny enough. The slime might be the lethal here.
Yeah, but not killing the Scenarios was a good thing because it doesn't really change anything with your Savage Roar.
Yeah, he's gonna still have to go through so many taunts.
Unless there would be a Force of Nature, Savage Roar, Innovate, Savage Roar.
Yeah, that would be a bit of a different story because your minions are getting overwhelmed and Scenarios becomes 9 and he kills you with his face.
Would you hit... But that's never mind. That's really a rare situation.
It's a rare occurrence. You can't play around it, really. I mean, if you do, then, good on you, but... I mean, I like the Wrathkeeper the Grove swipe here. It really resets the board in a super good way for the Druid, but he's still dead to Dark Bomb and Hellfire, unfortunately. It's a great line of play, but I don't think it'll be enough. It won't be enough.
Oh, look, second Savage Roar. And he didn't play a single Innovate in this game. But he's still dead.
Well, the slime would have helped get the 7 damage out of the way, but
with
based on what I can see here, this is GG.
GG, so Thijs wins against Druid. That's really interesting.
With his Warlock. So maybe that's why he's been sticking to his entire Warlock. Maybe he feels confident his Warlock can take the last deck. Maybe his entire lineup can be Druid. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it just... He planned on Show.
Warrior against Druid.
Hey, dude, don't question Thijs. I've got no idea why his lineup is built the way that it is, but he's been sticking to Warlock since the beginning of the entire series. So either his Hunter is weak against Druid, or I mean, he wanted the tiebreaker at the very least. So if he started with Warlock, is his best matchup. So what is his Hunter? It can't be.
I think it has to be Face Hunter.
Yeah, you say Thijs plays a lot of it, so that would seem to make sense. It's in line with what we've seen him play in the past. Definitely in line with that.
Well, okay, so Thijs picked Warrior. That's interesting. He knows that usually the Warrior has a really hard time against Druid.
Interesting.
And he deliberately picks Warrior against Druid instead of Hunter. So he thinks Hunter has slimmer chances to win against Druid than the Warrior.
That's really interesting. I wonder what... I mean, Face Hunter seems to be a pretty solid matchup. I guess Sludge Belchers and Druid of the Claw are a problem in general, but I haven't seen Sludges, really, in the Druid deck. So I don't know what Thijs is putting Sjow on, but...
Interesting. Well...
I'm curious.
Sorry. RIP headphones.
Headphone users, yeah, I died. I'm dead. Thijs will play Warrior. Alright, so let's see what this Warrior deck contains. I hope we're going to get surprised a little bit here, because going with Warrior against the Druid takes some serious balls. Yeah. Oh, disappointing. It's not the double Arcanite Reaper Warrior.
There's a wild growth for Sjow, so I assume he would be mulliganing every single card. He has to get the wild growth, right? Yeah, he has to do it. He has to hard mulligan.
What if Druid cut wild growth and played something else instead?
No way. Mech Warlord.
I'm curious sometimes what that would change.
So he didn't get the wild growth, but he has the shade. He kept the shade. Yeah,
shade's an amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing minion against warrior. Just because whenever it has time to grow, the only way for the warrior to really stop it is to get himself a good Sylvanas. Otherwise, you can literally let it sit there until you force a brawl, and then you unstealth it right away. Armor up, armor up, armor up. It's gonna be armoring up for quite a while here, I suspect.
The big game hunter is useless against Druid.
Yeah,
that was the worst draw you could have drawn. Yeah.
It's a minion, I guess, but not an amazing one.
So what do you do? Drop the big game hunter? I think so, right? Yeah. Kinda sucks, because then otherwise Druid wouldn't have a play on turn 3. But you can assume that when he played the Shadow of Nax on turn 2, he has a second one on turn 3.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would have kept the coin.
I feel like this makes it so his transition is going to be a bit awkward, but it's going to be fine no matter what, I think, at this point.
Bomb Lobber,
I mean, he's got a pretty good he's going to be able to transition to the mid game. Like Bomb Lobber is going to be amazing with that shade. Like you play Death Spite, that way you can target the Bomb Lobber, you know, exactly where you want it to go. That's a huge draw, that weapon allowing him to keep the board exactly the way he wants it.
Yeah, that's insane, because Sjow will not attack with that 4/4. Well, there will be Palted Shredder, so it still will be 50-50 to kill the shade, you know?
Yeah.
So what about first dropping the Bomb Lobber? Yeah.
Yeah, and then trying to see what's going to happen with it. Man, you really want that shade to hit. Like, this is going to be the most... if that shade needs to go right now... Oh, God, that's the worst. That's not what Thijs wanted to see, but you know what? At least he's got a 3-3 on the board. You can see it in his face. He's like, well, that could have gone differently. So many 50-50s in Hearthstone sometimes.
So now...
a lot of them.
4/6, Druid of the Claw. Yeah. Or charge. No, that doesn't make sense. Oh, he kills it. That's interesting. Why would he do that? To just bait out the execute on turn 6? Does it make any sense?
Yeah, I guess he could. Well, that's a pretty nice line of play. It's just that he doesn't want to play into Brawl, I guess. Then again, there's no Brawl value here for the Warrior. Hey, that's a bit of a weird play, but what could he have been playing against? Some Sylvanas come out? Like, you drop Sylvanas, and then he's like, well, my shade is forfeit. So he's trying to unstealth it before Sylvanas comes down.
It wouldn't be forfeit. You have the Keeper.
Yeah, you would have been able to silence it. I'm trying to figure out what Sjow line of thinking is. Maybe because he's curving so well into the late game, he doesn't really mind this much. Warrior finds a decent hand so far. A lot of armor up.
Needed.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a lot of armor, but that doesn't really help this situation.
Fiery War Axe attack, and then shield. Well, you start with shield block, maybe, or
so shield block, slam into Palted Shredder, and hope for Doomsayer, and play.
Oh, you know what? That would be disgusting. If he gets a Doomsayer, the game's just going to be flipped upside down. That's going to be a tempo loss. For sure, a huge tempo loss. I mean, he's not going to keep it to grow his own Doomsayer, there's no way.
Well, Shields Maiden with Shield Block, it's also good.
Yeah, with Shield Slam, it's pretty solid. Removes a minion from the board, albeit you're kind of overkilling it. It's still doing what it has to.
It's already the combo.
Well, the combo's been found, and Sjow's going to be packing some aggression up on Thijs here. No reason to stop applying pressure at this point.
So now Thijs has to play the second Shields Maiden. Or use the Grom. Wait.
The Grom Ash doesn't feel too bad. It doesn't feel that bad.
Grom kills the Palted Shredder.
I mean, how? Yeah. Oh man, I guess you could play just Fiery War Axe and Shield Maiden. That's also pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even
also
mind
fine.
that.
Yeah.
Let's see what comes out of that.
Yeah, it's
shitter
better.
first.
It's better. That's way better. Never mind me.
It's a bad bomber. The bad bomber doesn't do anything.
Let's say 2/3 of a Flame Imp and 1/3 of an Elven Archer. If you
Yeah, but
saw
the
the
thing
first
is-
match.
Yeah.
Between the
targets
best
something.
players in the league.
Oh, so Keeper of the Grove comes down. He's setting up combo. He's telegraphing it. He's screaming to his opponent.
So
I'm
Thijs
about to-
will be... Oh, belt! Oh!
That is a draw. That is a draw.
Why? Wait. Woodwind the keeper? Nah, never mind.
No, this is fine. This is so fine. Oh goodness, Thijs has got to be feeling pretty happy about that. He's get himself a Sludge Belcher with the ability to stop the Keeper of the Grove and can finish it off with Whirlwind on the following turn.
Here.
Ah.
Oh, come on. Now the
What a
second
whiff.
Salvador will be just... No, what a whiff? What are you saying?
That's a pretty
It's
big
okay.
whiff. Unless you find a second reward, this is a pretty big whiff. And
You
you've got
draw it
what?
next turn. That's how Hearthstone works, you know?
Sure. Right, you're right. How did I forget that?
So, Whirlwind, kill the keeper, Dr. Boom.
I like the Dr. Boom here. It's pretty solid. You've even got yourself the ability to shield slam on the back end. So you attack Sylvanas, maybe you shield slam her so she gets the slime, then you play Boom. You're so dead though if that happens. This is pretty dangerous, honestly.
What about Shield Slam Keeper, deal 3 damage
And
to the face, Dr. Boom,
Just Dr. Boom.
and
yeah.
armor up?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the winning play. Because then you can... you kind of want to get Death's Bite out of the way though, so you can play Grom, but you can't do that this turn.
Yeah, I think that's way better.
Well, the Whirlwinds could be used
Oh, he didn't use the...
next turn.
He didn't use the Shield Slam. That's interesting, because you gave him 4 points of damage for free with the whole combo. And I assume now is the turn when you combo. Because you have... Savage Roar is basically saying, okay, I got Pyroblast for free mana. You have five targets for the Savage Roar.
If he finds a swipe here... Nope,
No.
no swipe, but a pretty good draw
Keeper
nonetheless.
is also good.
Yeah, pretty solid, I'd say, even.
So what's the next turn?
Oh, combo. I mean, for the warrior, you mean?
Yeah, for the warrior. How many points of damage is it? It's 10, 12? That's not enough.
No, the current position, man, he's getting those armor up top decks non-stop. He is nailing those.
That's really a hard...
So wait,
hard
you've
turn.
got... You use your boom bot. So you attack the Drake with your three...
Wait. What about first the Belcher into the Keeper?
No, in the Drake, but that's fine as well, I guess. Because it could live, I guess you might want to keep it. I just feel like you want to sacrifice it.
Okay. So you want to clear the whole board. And play the Shield Slam, most likely?
Yeah. You probably are going to have to Shield Slam, perhaps your own Dr. Boom even. But
Yeah, I agree.
well, let's see what he gets. And he gets Dr. Boom, so Whirlwind has got to be tempting. But Death's Bite is more consistent by a long shot. The good thing with this play is that he lives through combo unless there's a double combo played with the double Savage Roar. I mean, he's more than safe in this position. And he can't possibly feel too bad about this.
Why didn't you shield block first?
I don't know, maybe the entire turn wasn't mapped out. So he's on 23 health right now. He's safe against combo with Savage Roar, so he's safe for probably the rest of the game unless Thijs finds another way to charge and deal damage in the immediately.
Well, you kill the next creeper. I mean, the next engine. Next minion.
Yeah, it dies to
hits
the
table, so it dies to
Death
the
Bite.
Death Spite. So that's really good. Then you drop the Harrison Jones and you will draw into Belcher. No, Armor Swift. That's even better. Now we
In
drop
this
both.
case, it is. Oh man. Okay, wait. If he attacks this, he's down to
Why won't you attack
20
both?
health and now 22. Actually, if he doesn't Whirlwind now and Sjow finds the second roar, this is gonna be game. This
I
is
would
gonna
like
be
to
game.
see the
Oh my
Whirlwind
god.
No, I mean the depth spite attack after you play both minions. You know?
Alright, so he doesn't find the Sludge Belcher. Yeah, I know, I agree with you. What I would have thought he would do is try to get that bit of extra armor to play around the double Savage Roar combo, but...
No, it's not even about the double Savage Roar combo, because you saw 2 Wraths and you saw 1 swipe. So what does the Druid have to battle those wounded minions? Nothing. Really.
Yeah, Senjin maybe to tank a single hit from Harrison, but... I mean, ultimately, you're trying to get that armor for a very specific purpose.
You got the read that Sjow has the combo in hand, because on turn 9, he did only play the Senjin that he top-decked, right? So you got the read. You got the read for that. So now we will drop... Oh, wow.
You know what's interesting is I feel like the Druid versus Warrior matchup is much less lopsided than I thought initially. Because I remember a while back it was the case that Druid systematically won against Warrior, but it seems like as Warriors learn to play the matchup, they get less and less, oh my goodness.
I wouldn't agree with you, but that's my opinion.
What do you mean?
I still think Warrior wrecks Druid. It's just that Thijs has a really Druid... great...
Okay.
Thijs has a really great draw.
I feel like Druids are very often pushed into overextending very fast, and Warriors have the tools to slow them down a little bit, especially when they're reverting to the double shield block, double shield maiden play, right? Like, Thijs has played 2 blocks, 2 shield maidens so far. So he's been able to keep himself out of that dangerous...
That's 20 points of life, man.
Yeah.
So you drop the Grommash and Whirlwind and go face?
You're 21 health, I think you do, yeah. You get a 10 damage into the face. Card draw won't help you any more than it will. I mean, Sjow has to get BGH off the top if he wants to remove that Grom.
Well, Thijs might be thinking that Thijs is keeping that Big Game Hunter instead of that Innervate, you know? But I think that's still the best play you can do here, because the other option is the Acolyte of Pain and Whirlwind Death, and then you lose the activator for your Grom. And you have to count on drawing one of the Taskmasters.
Oh, he finds a scenario. So much for putting your face in your hands here. That is a great draw. 2 hits from that Grom will be tanked by Scenarius, and there's a possibility that there is no other way. Oh, that's a cruel
Taskmaster. Well, you can still draw. So you drop the Acolyte of Pain and Taskmaster into a... I don't know what can happen.
Cleave until you kill both and then you hit face.
Belch? Oh, that's a perfect draw. No way.
That is crazy. Like, perfect mana saturation at the end of the game here. And, well...
Savage Roar. Okay, so you have to drop Ancient of Law.
Well, Savage Roar allows you to kill Grom at the very least, right? Doesn't it? Oh, no, because you're, yeah, you have to use your... Oh, man, this is crazy bad.
I was counting it and I didn't see it.
Yeah, you're one off of killing that Belcher effectively.
So you need the Big Game Hunter. Oh, double Innovator, that's the whiff. That's the game. Wow!
Yeah, and, the 2 Innovates were complete whiffs in this game.
As I said, Druid is always winning against the Warrior, so, you know, you just saw that.
It turned out to be the exact opposite, because we call it, right? That's, that's the way things go in this tournament. I don't remember ever getting a good prediction. Yeah. Well, Show's going to be going down to this Warrior deck. Fibonacci was right. I'm a Warrior and I farm Druids all day, every day. And that's going to be...
always so emotional? Like, you know,
he is very often, yeah. I mean, sometimes he keeps his cool, but as I said, he's been having a rough run in the tournament, so I wouldn't doubt that this whole thing has been taking its toll on his ability to focus super heavily. Or at least, you know, stay positive. It's hard to stay positive when things just go wrong nonstop. When you expect them to go at least partially in your way. So that's gonna bring Thijs down to his last deck, Hunter versus Druid. You say it's Face Hunter, and I trust you.
I would say so.
Yeah, it's not a bad matchup for the Hunter either. Can put a lot of pressure. Druid needs to find very specific cards early to stop the aggression and counter pressure. And I haven't seen any Sludge Belchers in Show's deck, so did we see any?
We saw
Senjin
and 1 Belcher.
Okay. So he's got what it takes maybe to help against Face Hunter. I mean, Face Hunter is everywhere in the meta. It's probably one of the strongest decks right now in GVG. And It's funny how you think you've defeated hunters by nerfing them, and it just comes back. And it always comes back with something else. Now face hunters are at the top.
You know what I
Mid-range was
miss?
there for a while, but face is just so strong right now.
You know what I miss? The first Unleash the Hounds.
With +1 attack to beasts, you play
Yeah.
Young Dragon, Hawk, Timberwolf,
In charge.
Timberwolf, yeah.
I really miss that kind of deck.
I totally don't, man. I swear to God, that was giving me ulcers. Because the only way they could actually win was by, dropping Buzzard and then playing all the one-drop beasts, which flooded their hand, and then they unleash for +1 attack and charge your face. It was so insane, though. It was so crazy. People
That
were
was the wild growth.
complaining about OTK.
There's a wild growth for
There was
double
two
wild
outfits.
growth and keeper.
The first one is good. The second one, I'm not too sure you'll have time to play it against the face hunter, but we'll have to see.
He plays double Senjin and I assume double
Belcher?
Yeah, Belcher.
And I know he's playing double Druid of the Claw. That's pretty obvious. What I'm curious about is
Animal
he's gonna be
Companion
able to
here
do
or
it.
Abusive Sergeant? Animal Companion. Oh no. Well,
I like
Huffer would
Creeper and
suck.
yeah,
Huffer
I like
would suck
Creeper,
so much.
but I'm biased. If Huffer comes out, I mean, Show's gonna be smiling.
That's
it
not
is
bad.
not.
Misha would be much better, but there's the Belcher.
Yeah, you want to talk about a good curve. Show gets he gets a keeper that gets a kill on a minion, and he gets to belch right afterwards. And I haven't seen a single Iron Beak Owl yet, so
I would
be a
rather
lot.
see,
abusive here. I like abusive with creeper.
yeah. But what I wanted to say is the last turn, I would rather see Hunted Creeper and Abusive Sergeant.
I agree. That's what I would have probably played for safety purposes. But I mean, he feels confident that he's statistically likely to get what he wants. And based on what I'm looking at right now, I feel like Thijs made the right calls. He's in a pretty good position, and
So-
Show needs to find a swipe desperately.
Shade in the Hero Power Abusive Sergeant. Oh, Drake. Okay, that doesn't really help at all. So how does Thijs deal with that? Second weapon, that's nice. So if you play Animal Companion, you get Huffer, you trade it into the Drake,
The
right?
Drake, yeah.
And then you go phase for 7. Or you just go phase with everything.
What if you glaive Zuka and hit the abusive into the Drake because you
that would
RNG
be
lottery?
sweet. That would
Yeah.
be sweet. Well, you can always do it with your face. You don't really care, and you can also squeeze your hero powers. I feel Glaive Zuka is, as you said, the most logical option here, because with
Because you can
Animal
hero
Companion, you lose 1 point of mana, and that's basically like 2 points of damage, I think, because then you curve it out badly in next turn. Misha, that's nothing you wanted to say. That's the worst drop you could have dropped. You could have got it from the companion right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really relevant at the moment because you're playing it to swipe super heavily. So if a swipe is found off the top... Oh, my
no way!
God. Sjow finds the swipe, gets the insta-play, kills everything, and Thijs is back to square one. With no minions to play and only weapons. Gonna have to deal with Sludge Belcher and a crazy follow-up from Sjow. Oh, that swipe was so important for Sjow.
Oh man.
Such an important draw here.
That's why I didn't like the Animal Companion. I would rather see with the Glaive Zuka, especially when you have 2 weapons in your hand.
I agree, it's playing too heavily into swipe, but this is just devastating here for Thijs. He doesn't lose the game yet, and we'd be wrong to call the game that early, but that Wrath as well. Card draw into Sludge Belcher. Now Thijs is gonna have to find some sick top decks. A quick shot would be useful, wouldn't it? Quick shot would be nice. Get 3 damage on that Belcher, draw a card after you've dumped everything you've got.
Well, that's okay.
That's not a bad card. You can find yourself a good Iron Beak Owl, Hoot Hoot, or Scumbag Wolf Rider.
Does it help here? I don't think so.
No, well it does because you can kill the Belcher, but you're wasting your Glaive Zuka, your Wolf Rider, and that's it.
Well, you have to do it anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, it sucks.
I think he's waiting on the Owl to do it. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Hoot Hoot is not going to come to the rescue.
He has to play Unleash the Hounds next turn, so he won't have mana to do every single thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's game.
Yeah, this is going to be another line of taunt for Thijs to deal with, and unless he finds a Hunter's Mark here, this is going to be a really problematic situation. Even if he does find it, it would still be the best top deck, mind you, but... oh man, that is not it. So you wait to hope for even more Unleash value. You can still get that. You can play the bow for the sake of getting it, but what are you going to top deck that could be weaved in with it?
I don't see how Thijs will turn this around. There's no way. There's no way.
Whoa, alright.
Savage Roar lethal, right?
No, it's not quite
7, 8, plus 8, that's 16. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, quite close, mind you, but not quite there yet.
So you just, low tip and shred.
All right, so you've got a hand with minions, and you've got a Savage Roar lying around. Just go for it. If he's got Unleashed, then so be it. It's gonna cost him 8 mana, and that's gonna cause you 0 trouble. So
that's good.
Thijs' Hunter is gonna go down. So you know what, dude? We actually called all the wrong decks that he should have played first. He went for Warlock first. Everything that he picked made sense. He knew that or at least he thought that his Face Hunter was a weak link against Druid. And it was, I think he's right, based on what we just saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the decks were right, but I still kind of disagree about the plays that he made.
Perhaps.
You know,
you can
the
get
second Hellfire and the Animal Companion, I didn't like it at all.
Well, it's going to be game and match for Sjow here. I think that swipe was the game-winning top deck.